Hi folks. I wanted to take a minute to show you all how to use the statistics functions of a couple of the calculators that I use that I'm familiar with. I have instructions for how to do this posted up on Canvas, but I thought if I show you, it could get you there quicker because it's really going to come in handy as we start moving into more complex operations. So let's suppose we have a data set which is like this one here, right? We've got an X variable, we have a 7, a 5, a 5, a 6, 3, 2, 7, 5, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Now, I could just, do it all by hand using the add, subtract, multiply, and divide buttons on my calculator. But instead, first notice this is the TI-30Xa. It's one of the calculators that I listed in the syllabus. It's relatively inexpensive. I think it's $7 or $8 from Walmart. So to begin using this calculator, all we have to do is enter those numbers into the calculator and it will do all of the means and standard deviation stuff that we need. To do that, you just start with the first number in the list, a 7, and then notice this little sigma plus button, right? We were familiar with sigma. When you hit that, look at the screen. It now has an n equals 1. We've entered one score. And notice that the stat function is now visible on the display. So that tells us that we're in stat mode. You just have to enter your first piece of data and you're in stat mode. Now I'm going to go through and enter the rest. We have a 5, enter. Another 5, enter. And a 6, enter. A 3, a 2, a 7, a 5, a 3, a 4, and a 5. Okay, and now it says there's an n of 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 scores. All right, all good to go. Now to use the stat function, we use these upper level green functions in our calculator. And in particular, we're going to pay attention to this one here, which is an X bar. That's the mean. We have a sigma, that's the baseball cap sigma that we learned in chapter 3. Did you see there? I drew it over here, baseball cap sigma, with an n minus 1. The n minus 1 tells us it's the standard deviation for samples. Gosh, I'm not putting it on you're not seeing it all. Okay, and then right next to that is a sigma where it just has an n. See that? And that's the population standard deviation. All right. The second row, we have an n, we have a sum sigma of x, and we have a sum or sigma x squared. So all of those features are available in this calculator. All I have to do to get up to the green numbers is hit the green second button. And I can check out the mean. The mean we see is 4.73 with rounding. I can calculate a sample standard deviation, which we see is 1.62. I can calculate the population standard deviation, which is 1.54. And if I'm viewing the standard deviation formula, the computational formula, remember that sum of x squared minus the sum of x squared over n divided by n minus 1. Okay, I need sum of x squared and the sum of x. Well, that's what those two functions are for. There's my sum of x, 5.2, and my sum of x squared, which is 272. So all of those features are right there waiting for me. And now if I have you do a standard deviation using the formula, you can just plug in the numbers from the calculator. Sum of x squared was 272. Sum of x was 52. So I'm going to subtract 52, which I have to remember to square, and divide by n. I forgot what n was, so I'm going to find out. It's 11. And then if this was a sample, we would divide by 11 minus 1. That's the n minus 1 portion, and square root it. So how would I do that on my calculator for speed purposes? Well, just to check, just to show you that it works, I'm going to take 52, I'm going to square it, and then divide by 11 equals. So that's 245.82. 272 minus 245. Well, the easiest way to do that, I'm just going to hit the plus or minus key right here. That makes it negative. Now I can add that negative number to 272 plus 272, and I get 26.18. That's my sum of squares. And divide by 10, so I can just divide by 10. And I get 2.61, and take the square root of that. There's my square root symbol. 1.62 with rounding. Look at that. 1.62 with rounding. So that's how you use the stat function for the TI-30Xa. Most calculators are somewhat similar like that. You just have to get the numbers into the computer, to the calculator, and it will do the rest for you. All right, hope that was helpful.